Hello guys, welcome to another video. In this video, we will talk about 6 countries to get easy and fast citizenship in Europe. Getting citizenship in Europe is usually not a very straightforward process, as it involves gathering a lot of documents and investing quite a significant amount of time or money in the country you are planning to get citizenship. But in this video, we will discuss some options for those who are looking to get a second citizenship in Europe. Some options are fast, but involve investing quite large sums of money, while other options are rather slow, but easy to achieve even if you do not have deep pockets to get a fast-track second citizenship. And before we start the usual talk, you already know it. If you want to travel, move, or invest abroad, hit the like button, check out other videos, book a consultation call with me, the links in the description. And most importantly, subscribe. Let's start. We're going to start with Montenegro. Montenegro is a beautiful country and also one of the fastest countries to get a second citizenship in an European country. In Montenegro, it is still possible to get citizenship by investment. It had been announced that the program was going to end, but for one reason or the other, they decided to continue it for yet another year. So how does it work? Basically, you have to invest a significant amount of money in a real estate development project. If the project is in the capital Podgorica or on the Adriatic coast of Montenegro, the minimum investment is 450,000 euros. In other less developed areas of the country, an investment of 250,000 euros will do. Apart from that, you'll need to make a donation of 200,000 euros to secure your Montenegrin citizenship. Of course, if you just want to live in Montenegro without becoming a citizen instantly, you can just buy any property of any price and get a residence permit with that. Apart from this, Montenegro is very likely to join the European Union in this decade. So if you want to invest in a citizenship with a high likelihood for you to become an European Union citizen and you don't mind a relative level of risk, Montenegro can be a great option. The next country is France. France is not a country you'll see very often here on the channel. After all, it is a high-tax country with an overwhelming level of bureaucracy and a high cost of living. But France also has its advantages, and today we will talk about one of the best advantages of living in France, which is actually not very widely known among websites or YouTube channels talking about the stuff we talk about. So basically, in normal circumstances, you need to live 5 years in France before you are eligible to apply for French citizenship. But if you have studied for at least 2 years in a higher education institution in France, you can already apply for citizenship. So if you are still a student or you want to become a student, doing that in France might be a great idea. Even if you are coming from a non-EU country, it is relatively easy to get admitted in a French public university, which is also pretty affordable compared to the UK, Canada or Australia. After 2 years studying in France, you can apply for citizenship, and since bureaucracy in France is not the most efficient, you can count to wait up to 2 years after your application was made to become a French citizen. The next country in the list is Spain. In normal circumstances, it actually takes a lot of time to get citizenship in Spain, actually 10 years for most expats living in Spain. But then one might be wondering, why on earth is Spain in this video? The thing is that acquiring citizenship in Spain has a lot of exceptions, and if you can fit in any of those exceptions, getting Spanish citizenship can be much faster than in most other countries in Europe. One of these exceptions actually affects just north of 700 million people in the world. This is basically how it works. If you are a citizen of countries deemed in Iberoamerica, which is basically all Spanish and Portuguese-speaking countries in South and Central America, plus the Philippines, Equatorial Guinea, Andorra and Portugal, you can apply for Spanish citizenship after residing just 2 years in Spain. It is a pretty amazing option. Then there are other more specific exceptions that can allow you to get Spanish citizenship even faster. If you are married to a Spanish citizen, you can apply for citizenship after just 1 year living in Spain. The same applies if you are born in Spain, regardless of the nationality of your parents. After 1 year of residence, you will be eligible for citizenship. Many other European countries have exceptions, especially for married partners, but Spain, in my opinion, has the most flexible options among all EU countries. Bulgaria is the next country in today's list, and also an option if you have quite a lot of spare cash to spend getting a second citizenship. In Bulgaria, the option available to get citizenship relatively fast is by investment. So basically, this is how it works. you have to invest 512,000 euros in Bulgaria. There are some requirements regarding the types of funds which are available, and you'll get permanent residency in about 6 months. Then, once you have PR, you should invest once again 512,000 euros, so in total a little over 1 million euros plus fees, and then in about 18 months or 1 year and a half, you will be a happy Bulgarian citizen. Certainly, it is not a cheap option, but apart from the fees, the investment itself is not a payment. You will be able to withdraw it after a few years and still keep your Bulgarian citizenship. Bulgaria is a full EU member, so by being a Bulgarian citizen, you have the right to live, work, study and retire in all of the 27 countries, which currently are part of the European Union. And guess which country is back to yet another video? It is the good old Portugal. Portugal is one of the most flexible and easiest countries to immigrate to Europe for almost every category of person. Regardless if you're a job seeker or a digital nomad or a retiree or an investor, you will definitely find your place in Portugal. And as you may have guessed, it is not only easy to get residency in Portugal, but also easy to become a Portuguese citizen. After residing 5 years in Portugal, you are eligible to apply for Portuguese citizenship. While one cannot say that 5 years is necessarily a fast path to citizenship, Portugal deserves a place in this video for how easy it is to establish residency in the country and start your time to count towards citizenship. You also don't need to live 5 consecutive years in Portugal to apply. If your time in the country amounted to 5 years in the previous 15 years, you will be eligible to apply. And the ways to get residency in Portugal are really numerous. If you are from a visa-exempt country, you can just come to Portugal, get a job contract, apply for a residence permit, and the clock will start ticking towards your citizenship. There is also the D7 visa if you are a retiree or if you have a passive income, which is also a good option. And finally, the golden visa, which is certainly more expensive, but has a lower level of bureaucracy involved. With the golden visa, the good thing is that the time requirement to stay in Portugal when you build your time towards permanent residency is much lower. If you stay just maybe even less than a month per year, that will be enough for you to build your path towards permanent residency and citizenship. The last country in today's list is Italy. Just like Spain, getting citizenship in Italy through naturalization is actually not that fast. But there are exceptions, and that's what we're going to talk about today. The main exception, which I think is worth mentioning, and thus Italy has its place in this video, is citizenship by ancestry. But why Italy, if virtually all countries in Europe have a citizenship by ancestry option? The difference between Italy and all other countries in Europe is that the requirements to get citizenship by ancestry in Italy are much easier to meet than in most other countries. In Italy, if you have the documents of your ancestors, there is no generation limit to get citizenship. So if your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was born in Italy and you have documents proving a direct line between you and him, you are eligible for citizenship. The process in itself is quite fast. Once you gather and translate all the documents, you can move to Italy and get your Italian passport in under 6 months. In some cases, if you're lucky, everything can be ready in about 2 to 3 months. There are 80 million people with Italian ancestry in the world outside of Italy, and a good part of them are eligible for Italian citizenship through ancestry. Most of them live in the US, Canada, and countries in South America such as Argentina and Brazil. And just to wrap up and finish the video, I'm going to talk about the benefits of getting a second citizenship in Europe. The first one is quite obvious: the quality of life you can have in Europe. Even if most countries in Europe are less wealthy than the US, Canada and Australia, the quality of life is very high, and in Europe you can find some of the safest cities in the world, which are also quite large. The second advantage is the ability to travel visa-free in Europe and beyond. So if, for example, if you have a weaker passport such as a Colombian passport or a South African passport or an Indian passport, if you get citizenship in Europe, your opportunities to travel in Europe and beyond with an European passport will be much greater. Then by acquiring a citizenship from an European nation, you'll have the ability to access one of the wealthiest regions in the world. That will bring benefits to different parts of your life, such as the job market, or if you want to start a business, or if you want to do different types of investments. And finally, you'll have the chance to experience different cultures and establish a base in more than one country. It is quite common now that a given country is in a difficult economic situation, and by having a plan B, you have the opportunity to always switch and be at the place with the best conditions for that specific time. And that's it for today's video. Now the usual gibberish. If you want to travel, move, or invest abroad, hit the like button, check our other videos, book a consultation call. The link is in the description. Have a nice day. See you next time. That's it. Subscribe. See you. Bye.